So glad that you joined with us again for another episode of Intentional Youth Ministry. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the power of no. The power of no. This is really more of a leadership thought, and so whether you're in youth ministry or not, I believe this will be super relevant to you. And I think what happens a lot of times in ministry especially is I think there's a lot of people who we've become jacks of all trades but masters of none. And I think part of that is because we as leaders sometimes don't know how to say no. You know, if you've read any John Maxwell books or listened to leadership podcasts, you've probably heard this kind of idea about learning how to say no to things that are good so you can say yes to things that are better. I'll put it another way. What I've learned for myself over the years is every time I say yes to something, I'm saying no to something else. And so I've gotten really intentional over the last decade or more of trying to be really cautious, if you will, of what I say yes to and what I say no to. And so a lot of times in ministry, there's opportunity that comes, right? So maybe you're a youth pastor at your church, and maybe there's some opportunities that come up that seem like they're great opportunities. They might even seem like they are a promotion or a step up in your organization. But here's what I want to ask you is this: what has God called you to do? If God has called you for this season of your life to pastor young people, then I would encourage you to say no to anything else that's going to pull away your focus from focusing on that thing. And hear my heart, it doesn't mean by any stretch, listen, I'm a huge believer in being team players, and so yes, honor your lead pastor, honor your campus, your staff, your people that you work with in ministry. Always have a heart that's willing to help people out. What I'm simply saying is this: if I say yes to every opportunity that comes, ultimately I'm saying no potentially to what God has really called me to do. And there's only one you. God made you unique. He's called you to the place that you're at for the season and for a purpose. And so I just want to encourage you to get to a place, if you haven't already, where you're okay with saying no. I think about it over the years, all the times in the beginning of youth ministry, where I just said yes to everything. I said yes to every out-of-house speaking engagement. I said yes to every opportunity to do anything else in the church, to help with anything I could. And there's a heart thing here that's good and healthy, but what I'd encourage you, if you're not careful, you can kind of fall into that of, like, again, becoming a jack of all trades and a master of none. So what is it God has called you to? Know that, and then be okay with saying no to other things that are ultimately going to distract you from you growing and reaching your full potential and the thing that God has called you to do. Also, I've seen this played out in the past. I've been under some great leaders in my life, and my current lead pastor, who I serve under now, an incredible man, great leader. And one of the things that I respect the most about him is he's had opportunities to, if he wanted to be, honestly, if he wanted to, he could travel the world all the time, speaking just about every weekend, off-site. He could be, writing books and podcasts and doing all the stuff that everyone does, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. But one of the things that I love and respect so much about him is, for a good chunk of his time that he's been a leader and a pastor, he has understood the value of sometimes saying no to some of those other things so that he could focus on what God's called him to. And God has called him to pastor this church, to pastor our church. And so he has unapologetically said no to other things that are a distraction from him focusing on the very thing that God has called him to do. So I hope that encouraged you guys. I hope that helps you. Again, I'm giving you permission, if you will. It's okay to say no sometimes. It's okay to say no because, again, anytime you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And I want to make sure as a leader and is just having the call of God on my life that I'm always saying yes to the right thing. So, again, hope that encourages you guys. God bless. We'll see you next time.